Yeah.
So
when the Joes were wrestling and throwing each other to the ground.
Exactly.
Listen, vintage RHONJ.
Oh my God, it's real.
It's just,
it's not real
it was
anymore,
real.
guys. It's fake. So it was real. So now what I'm going to recall as to how it started, Teresa goes to jail. Teresa went to jail. We were still friends. I told her a couple things on what to do before she went. How to set up her commissary money and all that kind of stuff.
Now, how did you know how to tell her this?
Because I know a lot of people went to jail, and they told me to help her, to tell her how she can set up her commissary money.
So you guys were still friends?
We're friends. We were friends.
Well, okay, pause now for a minute, because now I got some questions. Does she, like, so when all this was going on with Joe Giudice, did she, like, confide in you? Like, I'm so depressed, I'm going to jail. It was already, you guys were, like, drifting apart.
Starting to separate. I'm going to tell you why. Because I knew through the grapevine, she made a pact with her family that they were not going to bring their family. They were going to make almost like a fake pact. Like, all right, we're going to stop fighting now, because it was really affecting the parents, the kids, everything. So I got thrown under the bus. And I knew. She didn't know I knew.
Meaning a pact with, like, Melissa and Joe?
She made a pact with them. And instead of coming to me and saying, listen, I know that you know I didn't like Melissa. I know that we did things together. I don't want to fight with my family anymore. I would say, well, who do you want to fight with? You know, I'm not going to, you're the one who made me go against your family. I have nothing against Melissa.
Right.
So she didn't do that. Instead, she backdoored me and tried to get me off the show, which I was off the show when the twins came on.
Yes.
If you can recall.
Yes.
And I let her go. I figured the girl's facing jail time. You know, I didn't like what she did. It was a terrible thing that she did to me, but I let it go.
Like, just iced you
Terrible.
out.
Iced me out.
So, like, if she came, I mean, with Melissa, did she say to you, like,
nope,
don't be nice to Melissa, like, at some point in the beginning?
She couldn't stand Melissa.
So she said, you're my friend, not hers,
of
like
course.
that.
None of us were allowed to be friends.
And then you're saying, right, if she came to you and said, I'm going to get along with Melissa because I want to get along, but, like, I'm going to go after this one, you would have been fine. Like, just be honest.
Yes, I got no issues with Melissa.
But she was like, we're icing him out of the show.
Absolutely.
Without speaking to you about it.
Without speaking to me. After all, I felt I was a very good friend. I wasn't with Teresa. There was nothing Teresa could do for me. My boyfriend was, as you know, filthy rich.
Yes.
She knew. He gave me beautiful things. We lived a life that people could only, you know, dream about.
Yeah.
I didn't need her for anything. I wasn't into the fame. I really was doing it for my business, and I liked my independence. And I liked the show. It was fun. And I liked the girls.
Yeah.
So I never, ever needed Teresa for anything. And I truly cared for Teresa. And that's something she doesn't understand, because she doesn't have people like that too much in her life. I have one or two. And I was really hurt by her. And I was really pretty shocked that she did that.
And, like, what happens? Like, the phone calls just stop? Like, the nightly chats?
Because she didn't know I knew. She didn't know. I was told by one of the top producers that really liked me. And they told me, you know, it's Teresa. But then they called me the next year and they wanted me back on the show.
That's what they said? They said, like, Teresa's icing you out. Or we're not filming.
Like, listen, you know, they were a little upset because when I was on the reunion, I didn't admit that Teresa knew that Melissa was being set up.
Right.
They were mad at me for that. They could have gotten over that. But then Teresa was like, oh, I don't need to film Kim. You know what I'm saying? So, but then they realized we need Kim because everybody's afraid to call Teresa out on her shit. So they got me back.
So when she said goodbye to Kim, the producers were like, goodbye to Kim. And that's why you were upset, because she didn't, you know, not that you were off the show, but you lost a friend.
Yes.
I don't even know.
And I still, when she got out of jail, I still went to her house, went to visit her, hung out with her kids, and I still forgave her for that.
So when all this was going down for jail, you weren't as close, like you said.
We weren't as close.
But how'd you give her advice? You called, like, she called you and said, sorry, I haven't called you in 7 months?
No, I was sending messages to her to jail. I felt bad about it. When she got out, I went to see her. She asked me if I could bring some clothes to her house. But I felt something odd then. And I had already forgiven her for what she did. And I don't recall exactly what really, really happened that I got really annoyed about. I'm like, you know what, that's enough. Who is she to do this to me? And then when they asked me to come back on the show, that's when they filmed my fashion show, which, excuse me, Jennifer Aydin was at my fashion show. So I think we should take a pause after this. And let's discuss a little bit about Jennifer Aydin and go back. That fashion show, when I finally turned on Teresa and said that Teresa what is she on a different planet? And
that's when like Dolores was standing
Dolores
there,
and
Margaret.
Dolores and Jaqueline were at my table.
Right.
And I said, what is Teresa on a different planet? She doesn't know Joe's cheating. That episode, Jen was at my fashion show. The person who said she never went to Posh, but she was at Posh all the time.
Okay, hold that for 10 seconds because I have it. So just go back.
Yeah,
I still can't even get over this. So like when Teresa was going to jail, did she ask you for advice or you gave? I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious.
She did. She asked me.
She knew that you knew people in jail.
Yeah.
So they
and I helped her.
They like turn to you when they need jail advice.
Absolutely.
And you told her what?
I told her that you're allowed to put $2,500 up for your commissary money. I told her how to do it. I said, do it before you go in, blah, 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 and whatever else at the time, that